Picture the classic office people pleaser. They are the ones stepping aside in the hallway, constantly trying to shrink their own physical footprint to avoid causing even a fraction of a second of friction. They are on a relentless, exhausting mission to be universally liked. They say yes to unreasonable requests, swallow genuine opinions to dodge arguments, and apologize for entirely unavoidable delays. But watch how the room treats them when a high-stakes decision needs to be made. Despite doing countless favors for the team, they are routinely spoken over, passed up for promotions, and ignored when it truly matters. From childhood, we are handed a very specific social script. We are taught that extreme accommodation is a currency, and if we spend enough of it, we will eventually purchase the respect of our peers. Watch this animated scale. Adding approval-seeking motivation pushes likability up, but tips respect in the opposite direction. As this shifts to a scatter plot, mapping approval against perceived authority, the trend line drops aggressively. Psychology treats extreme agreeableness and respect as directly opposed. Our brains actively penalize the desperate need for validation. To understand why, we have to look closely at the invisible boundary separating the person everyone likes from the person everyone actually listens to. When we interact, we trade words on the surface, but underneath, our brains are constantly calculating value, reading subtle nonverbal cues to determine where someone belongs in the social hierarchy. Think about the habit of over-explaining a simple decision, or hesitating to take action without getting validation from the group first. People assume they are being thorough and polite. The listener's subconscious, however, registers those behaviors as loud, undeniable signals of low self-confidence and insecurity. This economic supply and demand curve visualizes the economics of boundaries. It maps personal time and energy against perceived value, showing how the human brain treats respect precisely like a finite commodity. Watch what happens to the chart when someone agrees to every single request. Their time appears to be in completely infinite supply. Because it lacks scarcity, the perceived value of that time crashes straight to zero. But when this chart reflects a polite, firm no, the dynamic flips entirely. Restricting access creates a bottleneck. That scarcity instantly drives the value up, signaling to the group that this person is an authority, not a pushover. Respect operates as a cold economic calculation. If you treat your own time and energy as cheap and highly available, no one else's brain is going to calculate it as valuable. This calculation extends past time management and right into how a person physically occupies space. Psychological research is clear. Speaking too quickly, breaking eye contact during a disagreement, and throwing out constant apologies feeds the room's submissive cues that actively erode your social status. People often avoid taking up space because they fear looking arrogant, but arrogance is loud. It is an aggressive, chaotic bid for external validation from someone who is terrified of being ignored. True confidence looks entirely different. It is anchored in emotional stability, proven competence, and a quiet, immovable sense of security that doesn't need to shout to prove it exists. Because a confident person does not require constant applause to survive the day, they naturally command the exact type of respect the people pleaser exhausts themselves chasing. This brings us to a highly reliable psychological rule governing human behavior, the mirror principle. Society never grants respect out of pity. How people treat you is purely a reflection of the standards you publicly enforce for yourself. There is a harsh feedback loop at play in our social lives. Those who quietly absorb disrespect or let boundaries slide are guaranteed to receive more of it. Earning authority means leaning into everyday friction. It requires speaking clearly, enforcing your boundaries, keeping the promises you make, and taking responsibility for your mistakes without begging for forgiveness. Stepping into this mindset demands a specific kind of courage. You have to be explicitly willing to risk being temporarily unliked. You cannot simply smile and nod your way into authority. Respect starts internally, in the exact moment you firmly draw a line and refuse to accept anything less from yourself.